All right, hey YouTube, I'm back with another video. So I wanted to record this video because after I posted my pictures on IG and TikTok about that I took from my trip to Dubai, everybody was asking me like, oh my God, was it expensive to go there? Did you travel by yourself? And like, how much did you spend for this? Like, I want to know your itinerary because I want to be able to do some of these things. And so I wanted to get up here and record this video because solo traveling is real and I had a really good time solo traveling. So the first thing that I did was my flight. I booked my flight, it was on a whim. I was just looking around. I flew from Atlanta to Newark to Dubai, and then on the way back, I flew from Dubai to Canada and Canada to Atlanta again. So that flight cost me about $900 to get that flight. And I thought it was a good price because when I was seeing flights to Dubai, I was seeing somewhere between 12, 15, depending on where you flying from. And because I was flying out of Atlanta, I had to figure out how I was getting to Atlanta. And in my case, I've had a bad experience where I booked a flight the day of a trip, a cruise, and they ended up canceling my flight at midnight and I had to rush around. So I was like, oh no, we're not doing that. So I found cheaper bus tickets to Atlanta the day before. And I felt like the bus is reliable. I'm just going to Atlanta. I didn't want to drive my car. If you don't know, I drive an older car and I'm not down for the miles. I want to keep my used car as long as possible. So I got a $50 flight to the $50 bus ticket on the Megabus to Atlanta from my hometown of North Carolina. And that was pretty good. So it was round trip for that. So $50, 25 there, 25 back, plus the 900 for the ticket. And then I just had to worry about getting Uber around the city. So Uber from the bus station to my place, the Airbnb that I was staying at. So that was that. And then I had to think about where did I want to stay when I got to Dubai. And naturally, I am an Airbnb girl. I stand by Airbnb. It just seems so much easier to book Airbnbs to me. And I can see what I want. I can go through the pictures and kind of figure out where I want to stay. So initially, I was looking at staying at an Airbnb. And the Airbnbs over there were running about $400 for the week. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a good price. $400 with a $900 flight. Like, that's a good price. But my aunt, she was like, you traveling by yourself. We need to make sure that you're safe over there. And I was like, yeah. So I ended up going with the Rio Resort, or Rio Resort. And I've went to Rio, Jamaica before, and I really enjoyed that stay. And so because it's an all-inclusive resort, I was like, let me just do this one again. And I actually ended up picking a really, really good location. It's a new resort over there in Dubai. They built it on a man-made island that they kind of made. And it's really nice and close to all the excursions that I signed up for. And so that hotel was about $800 as well. And it comes with food. It comes with everything that you need: entertainment, free drinks, beach, pool, everything that you need. So if you decided that you wanted to go to Dubai and not leave the resort at all, you'll still be pretty much entertained. It wasn't as entertaining as the one in Jamaica, but it's okay. And it's also very much kid friendly over there. And so that was kind of cool too. But you get little wristbands to make sure that you can get your drinks and all that stuff like that. And everybody was pretty chill for the most part, no problems at all when I was staying there. So $900 for the flight, $800 for the resort, and $50 for my Megabus tickets. And then my excursions. So when I was there, I booked all my excursions through Airbnb. Because I am traveling by myself, I didn't want to take the risk of just, going on a whim like I would usually do. Like, when you're on vacation, you'd be like, oh, let's just wait till we get there and we'll just sign up for whatever we wanted to do. But because I was traveling by myself, I wanted to be able to, if something happens to me, y'all, everything that I was going to do is all in Airbnb. My mom could log into my Google and find that information easily. And so I just wanted to make sure that I was keeping like a little paper trail of where I was supposed to be at and keeping people updated. So that was a big deal for me to make sure I had all my excursions booked. And the 2 excursions that I picked was camelback riding, camelback riding in the evening, because it is summertime and it's supposed to be really, really hot in Dubai in July. So we were averaging about 107 degrees Fahrenheit daily, and it was getting to like 100 degrees by like 10 o'clock. So I did private drivers, and the excursion came with a private driver that drove me to the location, so I didn't have to meet up with them anywhere. They picked me up from the hotel, they dropped me back off after the excursion was done. And typically these excursions are done in groups, but because I was traveling by myself, like I was just the only one riding in the car, I made me kind of feel like a little princess in the back seat of this peanut butter car. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the peanut butter seats, they were nice. They were nice. So I booked one of those excursions, and I want to say it was about $150 for both of my excursions. So let's just round it up to about $250, $300 for both of the excursions. So the first excursion was camelback riding in the evening, and then it came with a show, came with a buffet, came with different like activities that you can do. They also offer services like sandboarding and ATVing. I haven't done sandboarding in the desert, but I wasn't really pressed to do that, and camelback riding was just up there on the list. ATVing in the desert, I feel like there's plenty of places that you can ATV in the desert, so I wasn't too pressed to do that either. But camelback riding was definitely up there, especially at sunset. Like, you know, how beautiful. And then the other excursion that I did was I took a tour of the city, and I wanted to do the tour through the city in the private car because I wanted to be able to visit multiple locations at one time. And then once I got into once I met my driver, I also asked him to extend my excursion. And that ran me an additional $100 because I wanted to go to a mosque. And, you know, just me traveling by myself again, I was like, okay, well, if I wanted to get an Uber and travel an hour away to go to the same mosque, I would have to figure this out by myself. And so I just made sure I had my outfits, and I was just like, you know, can you take me, like, can you extend our excursion? Because it was just a half-day tour of Old Dubai, New Dubai, and then we went to the mosque, and the mosque was an hour out, plus he toured me around, told me everything that I needed to know about the mosque, and he handled my registration and getting me all booked in and getting prepared to go in there. And then I just changed my clothes, put on my, you know, attire that I brought, and yeah, I went and I really enjoyed it. I had some beautiful pictures from there. So that was pretty much it outside of me going to taking Ubers. Like, I went to the mall one day, and then I went back and I went to go get gold from the Golden Souk place. And so I paid maybe like $15 in Ubers, just going there, and then $15 coming back, if even that much money. It seemed pretty inexpensive, and the Ubers that I was getting were really, really nice. Like the peanut butter seats, like when I tell y'all, when I get a new car, I want a car with peanut butter seats. Like, it was so beautiful to me. So yeah, those are my excursions, and that's how much I paid. When traveling to Dubai, I was doing my research on Dubai. Dubai isn't one of those countries where you have to like where it has like strict dress codes for the women. So I picked out outfits that I would be comfortable in, but I also wanted to respect the culture and what was going on around. So in the resort, I kind of wore, you know, my shorter little dresses that I wanted to wear and my swimsuits. And then outside of the resort, I had one outfit, which was a desert outfit, pants, and a top. And it was pretty covered for the most part. And then once I got too hot, I threw on my little sundress, which had a little bit of like space in it where you can like see like a little part of my stomach, but it wasn't too revealing. And anytime I got dressed or changed my clothes, I kind of asked people like, is this okay? Especially when I was out from the resort. And then I just wore a dress with my back out another day. Well, my back was out for both of my dresses, but I didn't really run into any issues. Dubai is a really, really safe country. The people there, they're really, to me, they were trustworthy. I didn't have any bad experiences. Everybody was pretty relaxed and informative. You see them dressed in their traditional clothes, respect them. And just, follow by the rules because everybody else is following by the rules. Like, everybody was pretty much pretty safe, pretty trustworthy. I didn't run into any instances where I was just like, oh my God, this is like an unsafe situation. Not at all in Dubai. So that was that. And souvenirs and stuff. I spent maybe like $100 worth of souvenirs. I didn't have to pay for dinner at all. And yeah, that was it. So yeah. Outside of that, the only thing that I paid for was Ubers. And then we had my 10-hour layover in Toronto. And initially I wanted to go to the Niagara Falls because, I mean, why not? You're in Canada, go to Niagara Falls. But when I was reaching out to the different places on Airbnb to see if I can get out there, it was going to take them longer than my 10-hour layover really allowed, and it would be kind of pushing it. So what I decided to do was I booked dinner at the CN Tower for myself, and I got an Uber there. Uber saying probably about $20, $30 for the Uber out there. And then my dinner at the CN Tower was about $100 because I got the 2-course dinner plus the extra surcharge for the ribeye or steak that I got. And it was worth it to me. I really enjoyed my dinner there. And it also came with access to the CN Tower, like quick service, it was like a skip line. So like a skip line pass. So like when you get to the CN Tower, there's going to be a long queue for you to get into the CN Tower, and that's just people that are just going up there, looking out the windows, looking at the mirrors, and looking at the ground level and all this stuff like that. And they have to wait longer for the elevator. Whereas if you just go in and you have reservations for the dinner, then you go straight into the building, and then you bypass all of that outside, and then you have like a short queue at the elevator, but you've already beat majority of those people into the building, and your reservations are set. So they're pretty quick about getting you in. Outside of that, I paid about $20 extra for my pictures at the CN Tower. And then I headed on back to the airport, and I sat there for maybe like an hour or two because I was really just taking my time with the 10 hours. I really just didn't have much planned, and I didn't want to burn myself out because I was on my way home. Then, I took my Uber back. Once I got to Atlanta, my Uber back to my Airbnb. My Airbnb, I chose to go with a cheap Airbnb where I just rented a room in somebody's house, and it was pretty cheap. And I went back both times were just renting rooms in the same Airbnb that I stayed in. And that ran me like $40 to do that. And I only did that because I was coming in at like 10 o'clock and leaving by 10 o'clock. So it was no point of me just, trying to get like an expensive hotel. I just really wanted to be cost efficient on this trip because I was planning on spending at least $600 extra outside of what I paid for the flight and the trip. Ubers and stuff like that. So I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't blowing a bag in Dubai, but still enjoying myself. And I feel like I really enjoy myself. I might have spent more than $600, but it was an amazing experience. And I feel like I stayed within my budget. I didn't do too much. The only thing is when you are in Dubai, if you get cash, it makes it a little bit easier for when you want to get souvenirs because they're not going to charge you that's the taxes on it. And that's what I was running into a lot. Plus, on top of that, when I was in Dubai, I put my card in one of the regular ATMs to see if I can get some of the DDI or the AUD. It's like AUD or DDI. For every dollar, it's like 3.63 DDI. And so I was trying to get some money back because I at least wanted to see what the Dubai money looked like. And then I wanted to pay my driver that was going to come back and get me. But what ended up happening was they took my debit card. Wow, the machine took my debit card. So I'm on my trip and I'm panicking because it's my first day out here. But it ended up all working out because Dubai is pretty much living in the future, and anywhere you go, you can tap to pay. And so I didn't deactivate. I didn't cancel my card. I just left my card because I knew I still had it on connected to my Apple Pay and stuff, and I just wanted to be able to tap. And so for the whole trip, I just tap, and it actually worked out for me. So I really didn't even have to do too much. But I was extremely worried after that. But that was my Dubai trip. If you want to solo travel to Dubai, it was an amazing experience. I don't mind answering questions about it. I don't mind sending you my itinerary on what I did. If you're looking for cheap flights, I recommend going to Google Flights. That's where I always find my flights first because I want to know what days are the cheapest to go here. And then you can look up different destinations that you want to travel to. So anytime I'm traveling, I always go through Google Flights first because they give me the best prices. And I really don't care what airline I fly on. So on my way there, though, I did fly on United. And on my way back, I flew Canada Airways. And it was pretty cool. The flight was, I want to say 13 hours going there and 10 hours coming back from Canada. 13 hours from Newark to Dubai and 10 hours from Dubai to Canada. I don't know how that works. It kind of seems like it's in the same area, but yeah, it was pretty chill flights. Nothing drastic or crazy happened on the flights. I do travel light. I just packed a little carry-on, and I intentionally carried my bag on the flight with me because I've had experiences where I've lost my bag on the way to my destination and had to do too much to get clothes. So I packed my bag. I carried my bag on the flight with me, but on the way back, I just sent it on the plane because I knew that I was having that long layover in Dubai. And I really enjoyed this trip, y'all. If you haven't seen my pictures, go to Instagram, go to TikTok, and yeah. And I'm still wearing my ring. So yeah, that was my trip to Dubai. If you need any advice, if you're worried about traveling to Dubai, it is safe, y'all. It is safe. Like, I really enjoyed myself. I didn't have to worry about people, like, you know, watching over me, but I did want to make sure that I put myself out there so that people, well, people like seeing me around the resort, and they always see me by myself, so they knew that I was moving by myself. But when I got into my Ubers, just to make sure I was extra safe, I always open my door. So after I close the door to get in the Uber, I pop that thing back open. And I did that in Atlanta too, because that's where you might not be safe at. The other thing that I did was when people were asking me questions, I just told them, like, you know, I'm coming to visit a friend, or my friends are going to meet me out there. I really just didn't care too much about telling people too much about business. And then I also made it known that I was a teacher and I was broke. I had no business out in Dubai, but I'm still out here with y'all. So yeah, that's my Dubai video. If you have any questions, please hit me up. I don't mind. Solo traveling is amazing, and I plan on at least doing this again. I have a trip in the future planned for me and my daughter, but y'all gonna have to wait to find out about that one because I ain't telling y'all about that one. So yeah, peace out, y'all.